I was standing in my wedding dress, hair done, flowers in my hands, ready, and my sister walked in, locked the door behind her, and said, "Maya, if you walk out that door today, I will never speak to you again." I looked at her, and then I looked at myself in the mirror. And I walked out that door. But that is not the story. The story is everything that happened before that moment, and everything that happened after. My name is Maya. I am 34 years old, and I want to tell you something I have never said out loud before. Not completely, not honestly. I grew up in a small house with a big family. Mom, dad, 2 sisters, me in the middle. Nadia was the oldest, Lena was the youngest, and I was the quiet one. Not shy, not weak, just quiet. The kind of quiet that watches everything, remembers everything, and says nothing. My father worked construction his whole life. Rough hands, early mornings, home by dark every single night. He never missed a dinner. He used to say, "A man who feeds his family and comes home to them has done something right with his life." He passed away when I was 19. Heart attack. No warning. And just like that, the center of our family was gone. Mom held us together, but grief changes people. And Nadia changed most of all. Before Dad died, Nadia was bossy but fair. She had opinions about everything, what I should wear, what I should study, who I should talk to. I used to brush it off. Older sister energy, I told myself. But after Dad, the bossiness became something else. It became control. She made decisions for the whole family without asking. Sold Dad's car. We need the money. Moved Mom into a smaller room. To save on heating. Told me to drop my baking classes. Not practical, Maya. Grow up. I dropped the baking classes. I got a job at a billing office instead. I told myself, she's trying. She's scared too. She's just trying. Then I met James. James was not flashy. He was a teacher, 5th grade, patient man, soft voice, the kind of person who remembers how you take your coffee after meeting you once. The first time I brought him home, Mom liked him immediately. Lena liked him. Nadia smiled that polished smile of hers and said, "A teacher? That's sweet, Maya." That word. Sweet. Like it was a consolation prize. I told myself, she just needs time. She'll come around. She did not come around. 3 months before the wedding. I had just told the family James and I were engaged. Mom cried happy tears. Lena screamed and hugged me. Nadia said, "Congratulations." Flat, dry. Later that night, Nadia came into my room. She closed the door. She sat on the edge of my bed the way she used to when we were kids. But this wasn't like when we were kids. She said, "Maya, I need to be honest with you." Okay. James is a good person. I'm not saying he isn't, but he's a teacher. You've been struggling for years. You want to build a life on that? I looked at her. Nadia, I'm not marrying a salary. I'm marrying a person. That's a beautiful thing to say. It won't pay your rent. I am 28 years old. I get to decide this. Her jaw tightened. You always do this. You make these soft, romantic decisions, and then you need everyone else to help you pick up the pieces. I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, something colder. Clarity. Have I ever asked you to pick up my pieces, Nadia? She didn't answer. Have I ever, once, asked you to fix my life? Silence. Then trust me to live it. I stood up. Good night. After that night, Nadia went quiet. I thought maybe she had heard me. I was wrong. She didn't argue with me directly anymore. Instead, she worked on everyone else. She told Mom that James was financially unstable. She told Lena I was making a mistake. I heard all of this through the walls. I kept preparing for my wedding. I booked the hall. I chose my dress. I addressed the envelopes by hand. Mom came to me one evening. "Are you sure about James?" "Yes, Mom. I've never been more sure of anything." She nodded. That was her blessing. The morning of the wedding. I looked at myself in the mirror. This is what happy looks like. Then Nadia walked in, locked the door. "Maya, if you walk out that door today, I will never speak to you again." I looked at her. Is that a warning or a promise? It's the truth. I picked up my flowers. Then I guess this is goodbye. Maya. Nadia, I have spent 10 years adjusting myself so you could be comfortable. Not today. Today is mine. I unlocked the door, and I walked out. I did not look back. The ceremony was simple, real. Nadia left early. Mom later said, "Your father would have been proud of you today." James and I built a small life together, and I went back to the kitchen. Slowly, quietly. That first year of marriage was not easy. Not the kind of hard you post about. The quiet kind. The kind where bills sit on the table a little too long. Where you check your bank account before buying groceries. Where love is there, but pressure sits right beside it. There were nights I stood in the kitchen at 2 a.m., flour on my hands, tears in my eyes, not because I regretted my choice, but because I was afraid. Afraid that maybe Nadia was right. One night, I burned an entire batch of cakes, orders I couldn't afford to lose. I sat on the floor, back against the cabinet, and I just stopped. James walked in quietly, looked at the mess, looked at me, and instead of asking what went wrong, he sat down next to me. No fixing, no judging, just presence. After a minute, he said softly, "Do you still love this?" I didn't answer right away, because the truth is, I was tired, scared, doubting everything. But then I looked at my hands, covered in flour, and I remembered who I was before fear got so loud. "Yes," I whispered. He nodded. "Then we try again tomorrow." That was it. No big speech, no miracle solution. Just tomorrow. The next morning, I woke up before sunrise, tied my hair back, turned on the oven, and I started again. It became something real, a small baking business, then a shop. People said, "This tastes like someone made it with love." They were right. 2 years later, my phone rang. "Nadia." I was wrong. I know. We don't have to go back, but we can go forward. She said yes. I forgave her. Not to be kind, to be free. This is my story. The people who try to stop you are often fighting their own fear. That is not your burden. Walk out the door anyway. The life you almost didn't choose is still waiting for you. If something like this has ever happened to you, share your story and tell me, what kind of story do you want to hear next?